YouTube, you just got to see all that go on. But for those of you listening, just use your imagination. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the PHNX Coyotes postgame show, brought to you by the one and only DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a 5-star review. It was a wild finish.
Wild finish.
But
wild finish
in Minnesota.
I want to know what's going on over here.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Are the
It's
Bills
fine.
playing?
No,
Listen,
they played
they
on
played
Thursday.
on Thursday.
MRU administering a urine test to Sean right now? What's going on back there?
I'm drunk on the
Sean's
Dilly
on
News.
OGs.
Yeah, a little.
I wish.
Oh,
Was
Lord.
that subliminal messaging? Is somebody coming out of the dugout? Is that what was going on there?
I don't
Is that
know.
what it
What
is?
is
I don't know.
Listen, I literally don't know what's going on.
They said they
Is this
right
the
there.
Coyote
Roaring
show
Fork
or
got it. It's Sean still drunk from the Dilly News. Dilly.
True. Very
Probably
true.
true. Big
Very
news
true.
at ASU.
All right, let's talk Coyotes hockey. They finally did it. They finally had a comeback, made it close, and lost. This is what I've been saying for days.
Perfect script.
Perfect script.
1 goal regulation loss.
What do you guys think?
No, I mean, you're exactly right. This is what they want to do. Lose by 1 goal. Play competitive hockey.
Yeah, but I got to admit, when you're sitting watching a game like this and they start it's 4-1 and you go, okay, this is over.
Yeah.
Then it gets under the 4-minute mark and you go, oh, they scored 4-2. Whatever. You get the token goal. Then it's 4-3 and you go, oh shit, might be nice to get this to overtime. So I called a Schmaltz goal to tie the game and go to overtime, and I thought they were going to win in overtime. It's funner when they play like that. It's funner when you have a chance, and
Craig's
even
dying.
though they lose,
Saying
it's
funner.
It's still fun. More fun.
Yeah.
Did I say funner?
Yeah.
More fun.
Twice.
It's more twice.
Yeah.
It's more fun when they compete like that and play like it versus going 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, 7-1. I'll take this all day long. I wish they would play better in first periods, though. I think that's become a theme, not just of this road trip or the entire season. That's first periods. I know they have a scoring chance at the end. That Jacob Chikrin chance with under a minute was unreal. But the first 19 minutes of the first period, they had 3 shots on goal.
Yeah.
They've got to start coming out of the gate faster, and I'm not sure what they're going to need to do to make that adjustment.
You mentioned Nick Schmaltz, though. He was your pick because Nick Schmaltz is playing really well since he came back.
Yeah, he is, and he's sustaining it. He's
generating
generating offense. He's doing more
Yeah.
game after game after game. So 3 goals, 4 points in 3 games back. Am I right on that?
I think it's 4 games back now, but yeah.
3 goals in 4 games.
Point a game.
Okay, so
Picking up where he left off last season, right?
yeah, and he's providing offense for this team. And when he's got the puck, it looks like something is going to happen. And that's what you want from Nick Schmaltz. The knock on him has always been his consistency to be able to carry that from game to game. Well, he's showing you can do that now, and he did it last year too. So I think it's an encouraging sign that top line is starting to move the puck extremely well. The goal he got was fantastic.
Oh
the
my
puck movement
gosh.
on that goal, that was high-end puck movement. And when you're playing against a defense, if you want to open up space in the offensive zone, you need to have that kind of movement with defensemen going down and forwards coming up and that kind of active play in the offensive zone. And that's exactly what happened. Schmaltz gets all kinds of open ice in the middle of the ice because of the movement and the great puck play. Gossius, Bear, and Keller, and even Chikrin on that play. So great goal. And it is exciting to see him play well. And that's why I thought you might have a chance in that final minute because you throw him over the boards and you might actually get a goal.
Yeah, and besides that first part of the third period where Minnesota was up for the most of the game, it was mostly a close game. Mm-hmm. So it was entertaining at points. We saw some crazy fights, some crazy emotion on the ice from both sides, and that's really all you can ask for, especially just on a Sunday afternoon. I'm sure they're exhausted. They're flying home today before they head out on the last segment of this long road trip. So for me, this is a success. It didn't always feel that way today. Let's take a look at the numbers from today. Oh my God, why did I read that as 48 shots on goal for a second? 28 shots on goal for Minnesota to the Coyotes 23, which it did not feel like they got 23 because at some point in the third period, they only had 16 shots on goal for the whole game, which is just not good enough. Coyotes still nothing going on that power play. Minnesota capitalized, and then as far as blocks, the Coyotes did block more shots than the Wild, but the shots on goal thing for me is still a problem, and the lack of production on the power play, because that's something that was carrying them through. And I saw that they need to do that, because I saw somewhere that their 5-on-5 goal scoring is last in the league. So if they're gonna get offense, it needs to come from
Yeah,
any
but
way
it's-
possible.
Yeah, and it's true. You're gonna have to produce on the power play if you're not effective 5-on-5. But you can't sustain success if you're just relying on your power play. They have to be better at 5-on-5, and that's something we've been talking about all year. And it's easy to say it. Quite frankly, it's probably not going to happen. They're just not a good enough team to control 5-on-5 play.
Okay, so they've struggled since Chychrun and Schmaltz came back. Fair on the power play?
Yeah, trying to work 2 new guys in. Sure.
Right. So you're trying to work 2 new guys in. You change Gossespierre from the right flank or the right circle to the top. Take Moser right out. So, devil's advocate, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It was top 3 in the league. Those players are coming back to you. Just go, hang on. We'll put you on the second unit for now. You'll get your ice time. You'll get your power play time. But for right now, this unit's rolling and we're scoring. Do we leave it? Or do you play the long game and go, hey, there are 2 of our best players. We got to get them on the ice so we can get them up to speed. And hopefully these power play goals start coming again.
And what else are you trying to do with Jacob Chychrun?
Trying to trade him.
Well, that's the thing. And Jacob Chychrun has been,
Been effective.
he's been effective. You said earlier in the game he was leading the team in shot attempts by a huge margin. We saw it many times today. So I think it's kind of one of those. And I do agree with if it's not broke, don't fix it. But I think they're close. They've had some chances on the power play. I think they just need to get one in and it'll kind of open the floodgates for them. Maybe they just get that confidence, get that good juju going, but it's been a few games though, and now now you have to wonder, do we go back, because it's been so many games.
And you shake it up, you make a change, you do something different. Maybe you go back just for a game. I don't know. At some point when a power play that's been top 5 for the first 15 games now has fallen out of the top 10, probably after today they'll fall out of the top 10. At some point you go, okay, let's try it. Let's just try it.
Yeah.
Even if you try it for one power play.
That's true.
It really hurt.
You normally get multiple
because
in a game.
you talked about Chychrun got 11 shot attempts, 11. Next highest shot attempts, Schmaltz at 6. Stetcher comes in with 4. So clearly those 2 are the guys that are going to get pucks to the net, and that's how you get power play goals, is by getting pucks to the net. So yes, I think they should be there. I'm just saying they haven't scored since they put those 2 on the power play. And I know the long-term goal is to get rid of, trade Chychrun, and to do that he needs power play points. So I would be surprised if they don't make a change, if they don't score here soon.
Yeah. This goes into your keys, because that was your second key, which was having Schmaltz or Chychrun find, to quote Tyson Nash, find the back of the net on the power play. But do we have Petey's keys? Okay.
Well, it's becoming a theme. The afternoon game you worry about, especially on a different time zone, playing in the afternoon and being ready to play. And I said the first 18 to 19 minutes, I don't think they were. And I think it's becoming a trend. Their first periods just aren't good enough. So I think they missed on that one. I was hoping Chychrun or Schmaltz would get a power play goal today. If it would have been on on the DraftKings Sportsbook app, I probably would have bet that, because I thought it's going to break soon. And penalties have been a problem. Their inability to kill penalties against really good power plays in Minnesota with Kaprizov has a really good power play. And they gave up ends up being 1 goal on the power play, which ends up being a 1-goal game. So it's a big deal to sit in the penalty box for this team. So unfortunately, they did not hit the keys, and they do not get the win.
Yeah, and going back to the don't take penalties thing, which is something last show we said that just needs to be one that's always penciled into your keys. And Roaring Fork earlier in the chat had mentioned that the kind of a turning point in this game was the fact that we saw Foligno get ejected in the second period, and the Coyotes had a 4-minute power play, and that was the perfect opportunity for them to capitalize. And then
what did they do?
Travis Boyd takes the penalty. It's 4-on-4, and the Wild score. So they completely squashed their own opportunity, and that's just kind of things started to go downhill there. So,
and you talk about Boyd, old Boyd Howdy.
Rough game for him.
Rough game. The first goal bounces over his stick.
Yeah,
not
it's
his
a bad
fault.
bounce. Yeah,
bad bounce, but it's him. Goes over his stick, bounces. Second goal he set on the 4-on-4. He's sitting in the penalty box. Whoopsie. And then the shot by Spurgeon goes off his body and into the net. So tough night.
Tough for him and his
Travis Boyd
home,
in
his return to Minnesota.
What would you say to a guy like that in Minnesota just to console him? There's not a term for that.
I don't know Minnesota. We got a lot of Minnesota stuff coming.
We do have a lot of
Minnesota.
Some blatantly asked and said, has anyone mentioned that Bukestad?
I know Bukestad's from Minnesota. I think there was a parade for Bukestad and Boyd. No.
What?
Parade.
Logan Cooley was at the game
Logan
too.
Cooley was
How
at
does
the
Logan
game.
Cooley go from the mullet in his showing last night to the XL Energy Center. That's amazing.
I know. I was
Apparently,
talking to him
the
like
University
15
of
hours
Minnesota
ago.
has excellent travel plans. They have a lot of success with.
It's because you have nothing to do with
maybe
it.
that's it.
They didn't let Craig on the plane.
No,
did
we
not.
we
They
have
made it on
spent some time in Minneapolis recently, Leah.
Yeah.
I know. That was my first time in Minnesota ever was when we
Accidental.
had to emergency land there on the way to the draft.
So do you take
you know,
that
you know.
a 4-3 game in Minnesota to end this segment of their road trip? I say
I'm
that's
thrilled.
4-4-2 right now.
4-4-2.
One segment left.
I say
They've
that's a heck
knocked
of a
out
game.
Canada. They've knocked out the
Yep.
Northeast. They've knocked out the Southeast. Knocked out the Midwest. Now it's just about the Pacific.
And another guy we didn't talk about.
No,
We talked about individual efforts. Talk about Lawson Crouse.
Yeah.
He's
Holy
got
moly.
10 goals right
Casual 40-goal pace. Crazy, right?
now. Unreal.
Again, we keep saying this. When he signed the contract, there were a lot of national pundits saying, "What are they
Overpaid for
doing?
him.
What are they doing?" It's just it's a one-off for him. His season last year.
And that was a good shot
You ain't
too.
been watching.
Great shot. He's in the
You
right
ain't been
place. He
watching
gets
if you
to
think
that
that's a
area.
one-off.
Most of his goals, I'd like to see. I bet you most of his goals are right in that area between the hash marks, between the circles. He gets to that area. He's a big body. And I don't know if Fleury saw any of the 3 goals that went in today. I really don't. I think he was screened on all of them. That was a great shot.
Yeah.
10 goals right
unbelievable.
now?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm he could get 40.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Maybe maybe that would be what it takes to get his dad Mike Krause to wear some PHNX gear instead of spitting
Hey,
chicklets trash.
Mike
that he's
Krause,
wearing.
there's a sale
What's up,
going
Mike?
on
Yeah.
in the
You
PHNX
heard about it?
locker right now, up to 90% off. Just saying. And
We
if you're a
might have to
diehard,
chirp Mike every time Lawson scores now.
and if you're a diehard, an extra 20% off. Just saying. And with an assist on that Lawson Crouse goal, Matthias Michelli, who was back in the lineup today after sitting out. Gunther was the guy to come out today. Michelli back in. So Michelli had an assist on the Crouse goal and the Moser goal. So 2 assists for Matthias Michelli tonight. We've talked already about the possible value of him sitting out, but he performed when it counted today.
8th best odds on DraftKings, I think.
Is it still?
I think it's
haven't
still 8th
checked
best odds
since
for
you
winning
did your story.
Calder Trophy. So
But just
at
think
least
about
he's
that.
on the list now.
He's in
Thanks to
Arizona.
Leah.
Do you know how far ahead of everyone else he'd have to be in points to win in Arizona?
20? I don't know. Yeah,
Just saying.
Seriously.
The person who will win the Calder in Arizona will be Connor Bedard.
There it is.
Wow.
I have to say
Love
it
it.
once a show.
Get it out there in the
You
universe.
have to put it in the universe.
I couldn't agree
If
more.
you ask, the universe will give.
Will he outcompete Matt Knies after Matt Knies gets traded for Jacob Chikrin?
True.
Matthew
Oh
Knies.
my
Whoa.
God, yeah.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah,
We're getting there.
Yeah, we'll come to that. Trust me. We have a lot of thoughts on Matthew Knies. So, yeah, it was just a fascinating game. That's all I can really think. We saw Ryan Reeves barking at Jacob Chikrin, an ejection with Foligno and Liam O'Brien just sitting in the box like HK. It was a fascinating.
Yeah, he
one
had a
today.
grin on
If
his
you're
face.
Chikrin, do you take that opportunity and get in a fight there?
No.
Do you drop your gloves?
With Ryan Reeves?
No,
Boy, howdy.
Boy,
no
howdy,
chance.
cash it.
No
Cash
chance.
it.
Hello, injury history.
Yeah, no.
Could you imagine that? Like
Yeah.
sits
If he gets
Jacob
injured,
Chikrin out
like,
again, and then
yeah.
they can't trade him even
Oh.
more.
Separated shoulder or something.
Oh my God, I can't even.
Nope.
Yeah, what a game. And I feel like this has been now the theme that they're storming back, and that's good because that means they're not mentally out. It's sometimes you can mentally check out and just say, like whatever. And what we were saying before the game even started, like they're flying home today right after this game. They're probably thinking like, please get me the F home. They've been gone for so
Yeah.
long. So it would have been very easy to check out of this game, but
Yep.
no, Crouse and Moser at the end made it close. They had the chance to send it to overtime. They had the extra attacker there in the final minutes. We saw what happened in Detroit the other day. That happened. So I appreciate the hustle. I appreciate the effort that they're in it and down but not out. So, and then they end up losing, which is great for the tank. So I'll take
So
it.
all things, it worked out exactly the way it should have for a matinee on a Sunday, competing with football, by the way.
Yeah, which we can hear in the
I know.
background over by the More Furniture recliners. They're
We'll have some
watching
Cardinal people on there.
watching the Cardinals game over there. But of course, we do have to crown our DraftKings king of the game today. And we already talked about him at the beginning of the show, but today's DraftKings king of the game, Nick Schmaltz,
How does it
because
fit?
another big crown.
That is another big crown.
I like the big crowns, I got to say, Sean. I like
Yeah,
the big
I like
crowns.
it.
I think
We
they're
all-
a better fit.
We all the
Good.
producers.
The little ones are kind of tiara-ish. So
What about the size, Craig?
It just,
that really, what?
Okay, I'm just gonna move on. Also, I appreciate that Sean just puts people's nicknames as the name down every time.
Spice it up a little bit.
Yeah, I
now.
like it. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He had an absolute rocket of a goal today. So Nick Schmaltz is our DraftKings king of the game. I kind of like taking Nick Schmaltz anytime goal scorer right now at the pace, or even Lawson Crouse, if we're being honest. Petey, you had an unbelievable day on the DraftKings Sportsbook.
How about my
yesterday.
DraftKings day yesterday? I'll preface it by saying my Friday day.
I'm gonna take a nap.
College football.
Okay.
My college football went 0 for 2 on Friday. Yesterday, and I'm not making this up. This is 100%. I was 7 for 7. I was on a heater yesterday. From morning until night, I won every single college football game that I bet on.
Can I
Every
give you
single
the Fletch line? God, I admire you.
There we go. HK. Unfortunately, the bad side, the downside is I bet like Leah and I had weenie bets.
But you still
That's
won
okay.
money.
See, I think that's the smart way to go.
You only
I
bet.
had $5 bets.
Yeah.
You know,
But I won. I was 7 for 7.
You don't want to put your family on the street because
Nope.
you had a bad day.
Nope. So I $5
your
weenie
cat,
bets,
in
but
your
7 for
case.
7 on the DraftKings Sportsbook app because it was incredibly easy, incredibly fun, and I watched more football games than I would have watched because I had $5.
It does make a big difference
There you
in
go.
being
Golden
invested
Gophers.
in watching the
We
game.
had Golden Gopher hockey. I had Golden Gopher football yesterday
Oh.
against the Wisconsin Badgers. What a game that was. Oh, you betcha.
Oh my gosh. We're
Oh,
going to get
yeah.
into some Minnesota
year
talk
for the
here
It's a coming.
in a minute.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to bet and win some money, either weenie bets or bigger bets, you can do so on the DraftKings Sportsbook. Download it now. Use the promo code PHNX. Place a $5 bet on any NFL team to win their game, which there's tons of football on today, obviously, going on right now. Get $150 in free bets if they do. That's only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code PHNX. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See the show notes for details. And also this weekend, I was at Four Peaks yesterday for the Mexico-Argentina game. Holy moly, was this poppin'. Like, the whole bar was completely
Is this
full.
World Cup a big deal?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it might be a bigger deal for Mexico than the U.S., to be
Just
honest.
checking in.
I
The
mean,
support is
the
incredible.
vibes in Four Peaks were amazing. There was the 22. I'm getting a FaceTime call from Shane, who is sitting over there. I don't know why. So
Feels accidental.
the
We could put them on, though.
No,
if you want.
the vibes were seriously immaculate. The 22-foot screen, like I said, the Four Peaks was flowing. It was a great environment to watch the game, and you can hang out with us there anytime Mexico or the U.S. plays. It'll be hosted at the Four Peaks 8th Street Pub. You can enjoy beer specials, $3 kilt lifters and wows. It's your guys' favorite.
Chicken strips.
And I saw a ton of chicken tendies yesterday there too. So when is the next U.S. match? Is it Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. So
Must win.
Against Iran.
yeah, must
Iran.
win. So
Must
come
win.
on down to Four Peaks for that. It's going to be a blast. You can check the link in our description for more details. Register there. It's free to register. That gets you a spot right in front of the big screen. So do it soon because the Mexico one sold out really, really quick. So click on that link below. And if you're going to drink Four Peaks, you must be 21 or older and enjoy responsibly. All right,
Oh, boy.
Petey. It's time for Professor Petey.
It is?
But it's not Petey's Puck Talk.
It is not Petey's Puck Talk
It's
today. We're going to...
Petey's
different.
Minnesota Talk. So,
Yep.
Petey, I'm going to fully pass the baton to you.
Because a couple things. The Gophers were in town last night, which we're going to talk about in a minute. So
Big Minnesota
connection
versus
there.
Arizona
The
weekend.
Coyotes were in Minnesota today. So we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about my home state, Minnesota. So there I am. That's Paul and Babe.
By the way,
and by the way, if you're from
all
Minnesota,
graphics made by Petey.
yeah, I made all these myself, so don't blame Sean. So this is the only Paul and Babe that matter is the Paul in Bemidji, Minnesota, not Brainerd, not Akeley, Bemidji. So any Bemidji Paul Bunyan haters can start there. The first thing before we get started on the quiz, we're gonna have a quiz on some Minnesota words. The first thing we need to know is you need to learn how to speak Minnesotan. So if you've seen the movie Fargo, that is the best example. The movie's called Fargo, but it takes place in Minnesota. There's 3 things you need to know. You betcha. You got to learn to say, oh, yeah, you betcha. And that refers to, did you see the Gopher game yesterday? Oh, yeah, you betcha. I did. So that qualifies instead of you bet. It's you betcha. So got to have that. Second, need ofer. O-F-E-R. Ofer. Usually with the word cute. Oh, did you see the new puppy? Oh, for cute.
So for sure kind
Oh,
of.
for sure. But it's for cute. Oh, for cute. So you got to know that. And don't you know? Oh, don't you know? It's pretty cool, though, don't you know? So if you get those 3 sayings down, you got your Minnesota. Now, next is you got to know where to go in Minnesota. And there are very few places in the state of Minnesota. And the first place you need to know is the cities. The cities isn't just Minneapolis and St. Paul. It is every suburb within a half hour of those two cities. So everybody is from the cities. Oh, where's he? Oh, he lives in the cities then. Is that where you're from? Oh, from the cities. If you're not from the cities, where are you from? You're from up north. That's everybody that doesn't live in the cities.
So you're from up north.
Petey's from up north then. Oh, yeah, he's from up north. Then you got the range. Or the Iron Range, which is the Arrowhead, the Northeast, Hibbing, Grand Rapids. That's up in the range. Oh, he's from the range then. Those are the tough kids are from the range. Or the lake. Now, there are over 10,000 lakes, 11,842 lakes.
I learned that before
And
the
everybody
show.
goes, what? Oh, he's going fishing to the lake. Oh, we're going up to the lake. Well, which one?
They do that in Ontario, too.
We're going to the lake. We're going to the lake for the weekend. Well, where? Which lake? They don't say. We're going to the lake. So those are the places. And the last thing I'm going to say before we start the quiz is the game that you play in Minnesota that most people in the United States play duck, duck, goose, where you go around the circle, duck, 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 goose, and you get up and you sprint after the other little kid. In Minnesota, you play duck, duck, gray duck. So you go blue duck, yellow duck, red duck, green duck, gray duck, and then you get up and run. And where does it come from? From the Swedish game, anka, anka, gra, anka. That's where it comes from. Anka, anka, gra, anka.
Okay.
So that's where they come. Now we're ready for the quiz. See if you guys can name some Minnesota. I'll start with an easy one. Ready, DP? Skull. Skull. You hear it all the time.
It's the dip that you put.
It is not the dip you put in your mouth.
Let's go.
Skull. Skull. You know the Viking football games? You got it, DP? You got the, what is the answer? It's a Norwegian word for cheers. So cheers, mate. So it's just skull. Skull. So you raise a glass to your buddy's skull. That's an easy one to start, I thought. The next one is ufda. Ufda.
Okay, well, you suggested this as the win thumbnail, so
Is that like, oh boy?
let's go.
It's actually the opposite of left. It's like, oh, like things are bad. It's an
Oh.
exclamation
Oh,
that
boy.
expresses pain, stress, or exhaustion. Like, oofda. I had
License
to
plate.
shovel 2 feet of snow. Oofda. I'm tired after a long day at PHNX. Oofda. It's, again,
I'm
from
gonna start. I'm
Scandinavia.
gonna start using
The next
that.
one you might get. What is a Juicy Lucy?
A hamburger.
You're very close. It is a kind of hamburger, and it's actually started in Minnesota. If you watch the Food Network, you'll see Juicy Lucy recipes that actually started in a bar in Minneapolis, St. Paul area. A Juicy Lucy is a burger that is made with the cheese on the inside instead of the outside. So you put the cheese in the burger. That's a Juicy Lucy.
I was going to answer that one. Because
This one, if you watched Thanksgiving, hot dish, when we talked to Bugstead at the game and asked, you guys missed it because you were out, asked him what his favorite Thanksgiving side dish was, it was hot dish. Do you know what a hot dish is?
No, apparently not.
It's any casserole that you make.
It's got to be a casserole, though?
It's a casserole, but you
Okay.
usually made with veggies, soup, and tater tots. So it's called a hot dish. Like, oh, they took the favorite hot dish down to the Lutheran church then for the potluck.
Oh, boy.
Okay, next one.
That does not look
Nope.
appetizing.
Pan- at all.
Pannekuchen. You got a pannekuchen? Oh, the
Is that something you
pannekuchen.
smoke out of?
No idea what a
No?
pannekuchen is?
Bread.
Pannekuchen. Anybody know what a pannekuchen? No? Pannekuchen is, it's a Dutch pancake that is baked in an oven.
That was
But it's
close.
also named of several restaurants, like used to have, the Village Inn. There were the pannekuchens all over across. Oh, we're going to the pannekuchen, and then she'd go there for breakfast.
What's special? What's special
It's the
about this pancake?
pannekuchen Hughes.
That looks like a crepe.
That's a pannekuchen.
It's a crepe.
It's a thin, fluffy pancake that's baked, not
Oh.
fried. It's baked in an oven. It's a pannekuchen, and then you go to the pannekuchen
Why
Hughes.
there's so much
Okay.
in Scandinavian
There's tons of
influence.
Scandinavian.
Oh yeah,
in
it's
Minnesota, yeah,
Norway,
yeah.
Norway,
Huge.
Swedish.
I guess
Yeah,
the
yeah.
next
Minnesota
one.
Vikings. I get
Ready?
it, yeah.
Lutefisk.
That fish?
Lutefisk is a fish,
Ooh.
and if you've ever smelled a house of someone whose mom is cooking lutefisk, it is a Scandinavian white fish that is pickled in lye until it comes to a gelatinous texture.
Oh,
It's like whitefish jelly.
all bad
It is
adjectives.
disgusting, smelling and awful, but that's lutefisk.
I don't like
Again,
that.
Norwegian, they used it for the hard, cold winters. Next one, lefse. And we're almost done. I appreciate
How
your
do
patience.
I not like What?
Like
I
left
grew
side-
up in Canada.
This would be
I feel
one
like I should know
DP
this.
would love left side. And we talked about Norwegian food again.
Fake maple syrup.
This is a Norwegian flatbread made with potatoes in a pan, similar to a tortilla, but you put butter on it, sugar, and cinnamon.
I can
Okay,
get
well,
behind
that's
It
that.
is actually very good
could eat
sweet
that.
treat to the left side.
Left side.
Lutefisk is what you use to induce vomiting.
It is awful. It is horrible. Sorrels. Sorrels. And you need the next two things to do the third thing. We're almost done. Sorrels.
I got, no
I
clue
got
on this one.
nothing.
Sorrels are all-weather winter boots.
Oh, they're
they
like
have
bean
the
boots.
leather tops with the rubber bottoms that you
Okay.
use in extremely cold weather.
They're
and
the
then,
less famous bean
Oh,
boots.
Sorrel, that's a brand.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But it's like Kleenexes
So
or
every,
Zamboni.
every boot,
is a Sorrel.
Yes.
Choppers.
Choppers?
Choppers.
Shovels?
No.
You said you
do you
need
think? What do you
these
think?
to do
You need
the
these to
third
do the
thing.
next one. So you need
A
your
sweater?
Sorrels, you need your choppers.
Earmuffs?
Oh, those are dandy looking choppers. Oh, got brand new choppers there. Okay, let's go. They are leather mittens
Oh.
with
Okay.
the thick lining. Those are called choppers. You got a brand new pair of choppers.
I
And
was
you
on
need
the right.
both of those
right
things
track.
to do the next thing, which is called bumper bucking. Bumper bucking.
Is that
or
snow plowing?
skitching.
Snow plowing.
Bumper bucking
Skitching.
or skitching.
Skitching like on the
Shoveling.
back of a car? Will you hold on?
Show it, DP.
Hold on to a back of a car.
There it is.
Yeah,
You get ride on the
I
bumper
have
of the
gone
back of the
skitching.
car down the city streets,
I've
which I
done
do
this.
not recommend, by the way.
No, it's not safe, but I've done
Oh,
it
we've
anyway.
pulled a sled on a John Deere.
See,
That's the
there,
closest
that's
we've
bumper
been.
bucking or skitching. So
Yep.
that's a northern Minnesota
We
thing.
used to skitch on the back of the school bus.
MOA. MOA. Oh, we're going down to the MOA.
Nope.
It's a place for fun in your life?
The casino?
Mall of America.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And lastly, cake eater. Now, if you watch the Mighty Ducks, one of the players, Banks, they said, oh, he's a cake eater, and they hated him. He's a cake eater.
It's like you have your cake and eat it too.
It is taken from the Marie Antoinette. They're hungry. They don't have any bread.
Selfish.
Well, let them eat cake because she didn't relate to the common folk.
Bougie?
Very bougie.
So like me.
It is
Craig and his
anyone
Pellegrino.
from the western suburb of Edina is known as a cake eater. The
Oh,
cake
boy.
eaters are coming, and they've embraced that term. So
Where
they
the
have
Middle
T-shirts
Stats
that
are
have
from?
the middle stats are from Edina, and it is known as the Cake Eater City because they're a well-to-do, affluent neighborhood in western Minneapolis, and that is the Minnesota quiz for the
That
day.
was-
So thanks for indulging in
I've
me.
Petey,
learned
which
a
four
lot.
states border Minnesota?
Iowa, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wisconsin,
Boom. And 2 provinces?
Manitoba, and Ontario.
You got it. There it is.
Wow. I feel like we needed an applause
There we go.
for that.
We need.
Yay.
I know. Everybody tuned off. I get it. Everybody went watch football. I get it. Thank you guys
We
for
need
indulging.
that, and we need you to do that with Travis Boyd and Nick Bukestad.
I know we're going to do the exact
I
same
really
thing.
need that, especially Travis Boyd. He needs a win
So-
after.
So let's do this. I'm going to ask the exact same questions,
Okay,
and we'll do the same graphics to the 2 Minnesota guys. I'll try to see if I can set it up next week.
I love
That'd
it.
be great.
I'm
Just a
in.
quick sit down at the ice
The
stand.
Wild come here next month, by the way. So you could almost.
That would be perfect to
Oh.
coordinate it for that.
That would be fun to do.
Okay,
I love it.
I'll work on it.
By the way, great guesses in the chat. Some people nailed it. There's like a 10-second delay, so you were giving the answer as people were guessing, but some people were guessing right. So that was a lot of fun, Petey. Thank you for taking us.
Yep.
Through that.
You bet. Thanks for
it's
indulging.
crazy. It's a really big Minnesota week here.
Now we can talk more Minnesota.
And we're gonna keep talking about it. The
When's
Golden.
the Illinois segment?
I know. Did you see Karen said we should do an Illinois version of this? Minnesota.
It's more like what people call people from Illinois, like fibs. That's what Wisconsin calls us. Fucking
funny.
Illinois bastards.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Minnesota Golden Gophers in Arizona this weekend take on ASU at Mullet Arena. First time in Mullet Arena for Coyotes prospect Logan Cooley. First time in Mullet Arena for Arizona native Matty Knies. And Minnesota, #2 program in the country.
Wow.
And I know a few of you were there last night because you said so in the Discord and on Twitter. What a freaking game that was last night. That might have been one of the best hockey games I've ever been to.
Yeah, it was so entertaining. Great crowd, great game, fast paced, unbelievable skill on display. First of all, Logan Cooley, Matty Knies, and Jimmy Snuggerud. If that's not the best line in college hockey, I don't know what is, because they were terrifying when they were on the ice.
Unreal.
ASU had no answer for them. They probably should have logged more minutes in that game. But wow, what a fantastic game that was. ASU trailing with like 3 minutes to go. We're all thinking, they're going to get swept here. And what happens? They tie it up, Ryan Alexander, and then Mr. Dramatic himself, Robert Mastrosimone, in overtime on a set play, by the way. Good stuff. Great script last night. Incredible game. Incredible win for ASU.
And I want to give it up to the three of you, and include Sean DePaz, the three of you, for helping me feel like I was there last night. Outstanding job on the social media and on Twitter. It was a very exciting, great videos, great content, and I appreciate
you. Like my photography?
Yeah, no.
Oh my God, Jacob!
You were getting just roasted.
Jacob texted me.
He was carving me.
I got a text from our head of production about Craig's photography skills.
Because I would say these two are right by the glass.
I wanted to zoom in on the photo, and I was like, I'm not putting this through my photo thing. The game's about to start, so I'm just going to edit it on my phone. It's like this grainy thing.
Wait, did you take it from press row?
Yeah.
Because these two are by the glass filming stuff.
Right.
You were not.
No, I was in the press box.
Yeah, of course. Bougie.
Yeah,
Perrier.
I don't sit with the commenters.
Not Perrier, Pellegrino. Sorry.
Yeah, meanwhile, Leah and I were having to ask security where we could stand to watch the game.
Really?
Standing room only last night.
I might point out that in the third period,
they kicked
the old guy out of his seat and made me stand.
Okay, just reframe the story.
Craig basically forced me into the seat, which was good because I ended up getting shot of the game.
I let him sit down. I got up, as a gentleman.
What a nice move by you, Craig.
Yeah.
Unreal hockey, though.
Actually, the gout
I tell you what, there's a
acting
couple
up, so I had
things.
to stand,
Because we're talking about Arizona. Matty Knies being an Arizona product that's been able to do that. You talk about Cooley being an Arizona draft pick, and then Arizona State, which has come from all the way down as a club team to do what they've done to upset a number 2 team in the country. What an unbelievable night for Arizona hockey.
I know.
And the atmosphere in that building sold out again. The student section was
literally
on fire.
Standing room only. I know that because Sean and I couldn't find a place to stand.
And that's great. I think, again, it's just a foreshadowing what's to come in the city of Tempe. And I think it's coming when this team gets through their rebuild. This is what people have to look forward to. And I really believe that this is just foreshadowing of what's to come in the future.
It's cool that Minnesota hockey, obviously number 2 in the nation, they're an institution. Travis Boyd went to Minnesota, Phil Kessel.
Alex Goligoski.
Yeah, there's a lot of pedigree there. Obviously, Logan Cooley's there now. They're a historic college program. And then you look at ASU, that's only been around in the NCAA for, 7 years?
8 years now, yeah.
8 years. So for them to do what they did last night, it was their first win against Minnesota since being D1, and to get that win at Mullet in front of that crowd. And it was cool because we talked to Matty Knies last night, who played in front of all his friends and family were there. He grew up playing hockey here. We talked to him and Josh Doan over the summer. You should definitely check that out because it's still relevant in talking about how hockey has grown here in Arizona. But that's really what he spoke to last night, was just this whole thing. The Mullet Arena just really speaks to the growth of hockey in Arizona. And there was one point last night we were sitting with Craig, and Craig just said, I can't believe we're watching college hockey in Arizona.
Yeah, when I was in the newspaper business 7 lifetimes ago, I remember talking to our senior writers asking, "Do you think the NHL will ever come here?" And not a chance. And now, not only do we have an NHL team, we have a Division I college hockey program in Arizona. It's crazy how much it's grown here. And Matty Knies is one of the best examples of it. Obviously, Austin Matthews, he's the one that everybody talk about. But if you were at the game last night, and I know Greg Powers said it himself, Knies wasn't necessarily dialed in game 1, but in game 2, Matty Knies was the best player on the ice. He was a beast, opening space for that line. And that line, as I said, was scary already. He was unbelievable last night. And then Logan Cooley, this was probably his best hockey of the season.
That was my first time watching Logan Cooley play in person besides development camp.
Yeah.
He looked fast. He was making plays left and right.
Yes.
How many times did I say to Sean, he's so fast? I was texting everybody, he's so good.
And the way he was moving in tight spaces on the corners and stuff was...
Oh my God, and the way he held onto the puck.
It was incredible.
All good things.
It made me so excited.
And you know who else was watching last night from the building? GM Bill Armstrong was there because he had to see him up close. Bill told me I slept really well last night.
Yeah, but that just goes again. It's what happens next with this kid. His skill level is elite. His speed is high end speed. He's playing in a great program. I think this team, if this team gets into the Final Four or the Frozen Four and plays well,
could be it.
Could be it.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. And again, it's just to your point, Craig. If you go back, and you could go back to Greg Powers when they first went from a club team to the NCAA and said, before long, you're going to play in a 5,000 seat building, and you're going to play not just play against but beat the Golden Gophers, there is no chance in hell would you think that's going to happen. No way with this program. First, they would never get to play the Gophers. You're never going to be on the same ice with that team. And then to beat them, this is a huge step forward for a program that is only on the way up. I do believe this team needs to make the tournament this year, they have to win some games they're not supposed to win. And they go next to
number 1 Denver. That's the thing. Baby. But the thing about this win, and I talked about it in my story today, they had lost 3 straight games. We talked about that huge win in the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame game over North Dakota. They kind of squandered that because you come home, you play Alaska Anchorage, whatever. You're going to win that series. It's not a very good team, let's be honest. But you go to Clarkson, and it's a team that's starting to play better hockey, but you can't get swept at Clarkson. You need to be better on the road, and I felt like they had lost their momentum there. And when you lose the first game of the series to Minnesota, you've lost 3 straight, you're 500. Minnesota's got the lead with 4 minutes to go in this game. And then you've got number 1 Denver next. I mean, you're staring at 7-10 really fast. So the importance of this win, both to kill the momentum, and then I know they're not in a playoff tournament spot right now. I think they're actually number 25 in the latest pairwise.
24 when I checked this morning.
Yeah, and I think they got bumped 1 spot lower. It's constantly updating, so it's hard to keep track of it. But that win is going to keep paying dividends for them because Minnesota's going to win a lot of games, so they'll get credit for having beaten them. If they can go to Denver now and somehow get a split in this series, man, you're in the driver's seat at that point.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the back end of their schedule, it's home heavy. It's a lot of teams that they can beat. They're going to rack up wins. Go get a split in Denver, and I really think this is going to be a tournament team.
Yeah, and back to Logan Cooley for just a second, too. We had him on our show earlier in the week, last week on Tuesday, so if you missed that, definitely go back and check that out. But he was talking about just being excited to play in Mullet, and we talked to him last night. He said the atmosphere was amazing, the student section was phenomenal, and one of the things he commented on before coming to play here was he heard really great things about the ice, and he said it was really, really good, just as good as advertised. Yeah. So you can keep shouting out the ice at Mullet Arena as being great, and watching him on the ice last night.
On that too.
Can I before we get off of Logan Cooley, can I say one more thing?
Wait, can I?
Yeah.
Can I finish my thought?
Oh, I thought you did.
Quick?
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine. Watching him on the ice last night at Mullet, it was just a cool feeling to think this is not the last time we're going to see him on the ice at Mullet. This is the start of something really cool.
And get an opportunity to play with players like Schmaltz and Keller and Crouse.
I know, if he's good on a line with Snuggerud and Knies,
Michelli.
What's he going to be like on a line with those guys?
Exactly. So that future is great. But I want to point out one more thing about Logan Cooley, and that is his second intermission interview with Jody Jackson. If you happen to listen at home, one of the questions on the interview that was on air on Bally's was asked by our very own PHNX's Leah Merrill. And we were sitting here in the more furniture chairs, and we got to hear Leah ask a question on Bally's. It was quite a moment.
Yeah, Karen and Nick said they heard me.
Yeah, it was really cool. Really proud of Leah and what
you.
she's done here. So I just wanted to point that out.
It was very cool. Shout out to Minnesota PR for hooking us up last night.
Can we possibly have Logan Cooley playing on a line with Matty Knies for the Coyotes?
I know.
There's been a lot of talk about that Jacob
Give
Chicken
us Matty Knies for Chikrin and a first.
And a first? Chikrin?
We'll take him. Hey, you know
Knies
what?
A first for Chikrin?
Chikrin, he's showing some energy.
Love it. Let's go.
Toronto needs defensemen.
Toronto needs defensemen. We would love Knies. He fits Bill Armstrong's big
That's the thing
player.
Greg Power said about him. We would talk about guys playing with Logan Cooley and who would be a good fit. Greg Power said last night, that's basically the perfect line, the way it's constructed because of their skill sets.
Yep.
You saw it last night.
Size, skill, speed.
Yeah, he creates
talent.
space.
Yep.
Matty Knies creates space for Logan Cooley to operate. Yep. That's what you need with Logan Cooley, right? And then you need a finisher too. The Marty Hansel, Radim Verbata, Ray Whitney line. They had all those elements. You got to have the right construction. And man, those two together, I'd love to see it more.
Yeah. So
I'm in. Let's go. If we can I'll go pick Matty Knies up at the airport. Let's go.
I'll go pick him up in Toronto.
Yeah, we'll start a road trip. Don't let Craig do it.
No.
Because he might not ever get here.
Hell no.
I'm on Amtrak until further notice.
And you know how much fun it would be to rub that in Toronto's face when he pops off in the NHL?
When he gets traded here and then Austin joins him?
Yep.
Oh, boy.
And so last night, and we haven't even mentioned Josh Doan, 2 assists, assisted on the game-winning overtime goal. So We got Knies on the board, Cooley on the board for at least for points, Doan for points, and then Matthews last night, goal and 2 assists. So great night for Arizona hockey.
Fantastic.
Great night for the future of Arizona. And you know what? There's probably a kid in that building tonight who was watching there, really inspired, and maybe they're going to be the next top pick.
Josh Doan set play too on that. I love that. Greg Powers calls a timeout, sets up that play 3-on-3, and the whole play is Josh has got to win that faceoff, but not just win it, slap it forward to the weak side. That's the whole play.
Yep.
He did exactly that. He had to fight to win it, gets it up to Master Simone. He goes in and gets stopped on the initial one, but stays with it and finishes. Unbelievable.
How's this for a Wheel of Fantasy? Elliot said, Doan, Matthews, Knies line for the Coyotes one day. The Arizona line.
The Arizona
Sign
line.
me up.
Yes, please.
And when they finally do come here, hopefully, and this is, we're manifesting a lot of stuff.
Could we have
today.
the Maple Leaf as our third jersey then? Would that be rubbing it a little too far?
This is an open invite to any of these Arizona guys, and of course Logan when he's with the Coyotes one day. We have a 4th chair here. You can come join us in the studio anytime. Promise you, you'll be comfortable because these are beautiful, more furniture chairs, and it's a full house here today with the Cardinals and ASU crew and our recliners, with our drinks and our Four Peaks beer and the cup holders and charging phones, tables, all of it. If you want to spruce up your home or your office or gift someone a gift, it's the holiday season, check out More Furniture. They have a Black Friday weekend sale going on right now. You can save up to 50% off at your local Arizona More Furniture showroom. Check out morefurniture.com. And we talked about Jacob Chikrin's shot attempts and shots on net. And right now, the pace that he's on, I would say take the higher every time on a Jacob Chikrin shot on goal on the Underdog Fantasy Pick'em. I might do that with some Nick Schmaltz over half a point. Like, these are all things you can do on the Pick'em game for Underdog Fantasy, not just for hockey, but for the World Cup, for football, for basketball, or you can play daily fantasy as well, which is a fun way to, do fantasy without having to manage a fantasy team all season long. So just tons of stuff you can do on Underdog Fantasy. We've had a lot of fun doing it, and it's very, very easy to get started. Go to underdogfantasy.com or download the app, sign up with the promo code PHNX, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. So you got to make sure you deposit your money when you sign up with the code so that they will match you. And then you can use all that money and win even more, and then take it out and go buy some furniture at More. How's that? So we got Minnesota talk. Did you want to talk about the Coyotes and ASU?
Yeah, just really quickly.
We wrap up?
I like to call this segment preemptive reporting. Heard a couple whispers out there. Oh, ASU might not be happy with the Coyotes. Sean DePaz was standing right next to me when I spoke to ASU CFO Morgan Olson last night after the game. ASU's thrilled with the relationship right now. Thrilled with everything that's happening around that arena. Thrilled that this is going to be a revenue sport in an athletic department where there aren't that many of those. They really aren't there many in college athletics. As we know, it's usually football, basketball. Hockey's going to be a revenue sport at ASU. They're getting a lot from the Coyotes, as we've said, upgrades to a lot of their facilities, 2 new locker rooms. They're getting the marking, the free branding of ASU every time the NHL is there. It's all good. And by the way, I've heard this whispered a couple places. I'm going to shoot this down. The Coyotes are paying their bills, so shut up about it. You're wrong if you've heard that. If someone's telling you that, you're wrong. Morgan Olson said it himself. No issues. Very happy with the relationship with the Coyotes. End.
There you have it. One more question on this, Craig. I saw a comment way earlier. The annex is, supposed to be on track to be done when the Coyotes come back to face the Bruins on December 9th. Have you heard? Is it on track?
It's on track.
Will it
be
done? Okay.
Yep.
There you have it. Well, the Coyotes will eventually be home. Let's take a look at the road trip map, see where we are. Oh my goodness, it feels never ending. They finished a segment. Excited for them to get home for 2 days here before they go back on the road to LA, Vancouver, Calgary, and Edmonton coming up here in the next week and a half, with those 8 and 8:30 starts.
Can I show you something really beautiful on the upcoming schedule?
Yeah, show us.
Oh, I messed it up. Never mind. I was gonna flex that there was a home game on here, but
you made it the wrong color.
That's such a tragic situation that just happened right there. That's tough.
Oh, that's a bummer. But there is a home game in the next 2 weeks, I guess you can say. Finally. Finally.
Against Boston, though.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Hey, but the Leafs are coming in December.
But if you are going to go,
that's
and
an
if you are going
easy
to
win.
go to a home game and you get to watch NHL players, the Boston Bruins are a pretty fun team to watch.
they're
If you get to see
unbelievable
in that
this
building,
season.
can you imagine
Yeah.
Bergeron,
Return of Taylor
Pasternak?
Hall.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy, howdy! In that
Boy,
small
howdy.
building, get me some tickets, Leah.
Oh, sure. You want to get tickets? Well, I'm curious what they are right now on Game Time.
I don't know.
Probably pretty expensive because it's their first game back in a while. And of course, tickets are always cheaper the day of the game, which we saw with our own eyes
Seriously.
on Friday and Saturday for the ASU hockey game. Like, and I always say up to 60% off, like legitimately up to 60% off. So head out to an ASU hockey game, head out to a Coyotes game. If you haven't seen Mullet Arena for yourself, you'll have a great time because the atmosphere is amazing no matter what. Just that small, intimate atmosphere. But like we always say, not a bad seat in the house, except for when you can't find a place to stand and see the game. But you can buy standing room only tickets and you get like an assigned spot for that. So it's not a fight to the death on there. If you want to go to any of those events, including, I think there were tickets for this Cardinals game today for $10. Johnny was looking on Game Time.
Wow. Wait, to an NFL game, $10?
$10 tickets to the Cardinals today. And that was
Wow.
on Game Time today. So check it out. Save up to 60% when you buy last minute. And if you're going to use Game Time, use the link below in our description. Let's look at the punch card. They kept this streak alive with another loss. So we're on track here in the punch card, chipping away at it. The one punch closer to 82.
Do we have any patterns
closer.
anymore, guys?
No,
or
I've given up.
It's out the window.
I've given up. But Craig, you're working on a couple things for GoPHNX.com. What do you got coming up?
Yeah, for the diehards, I've got the next prospect report and gets into some sensitive information that you don't want me to discuss
that
anymore.
Craig has been discussing way too much today, and nobody else really needs to know.
You will all know, however, if you are a diehard, you can read the next edition of the Coyotes prospect report, which is on Emil Martinson Lilleberg, Maximilian Zuba. I have to say
You
it
just
this
chose
way.
all the best names.
I have to say it that way. And this one I really like saying. I could say this 100 times. Mikko Matika.
Yeah, that's a good one.
They're all good names.
All great.
Fantastic names.
It's the great name
Yep.
prospect report.
It is. That's how I decided
I
to
love
write
it.
about. It had nothing to do with Lee Stepniak's recommendations.
I love it.
I will have some notes on other guys as well. I know people have been asking me about some other prospects. So what I'm doing in my prospect reports now is featuring the three guys, and then I'm throwing some quick notes on the bottom. So that's coming. Obviously, I think there's a city council meeting on Tuesday. Is there something happening that day?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be
Again?
a council vote.
Craig's finally in town.
I'm taking it all. I'm going to be there alone, live tweeting. I might be commenting on some of the open mic portion of it. It may not be nice.
If you're going to
what
speak,
I have to say,
just
but
know Craig will be
yes,
watching.
if you're going to speak, please be informed. Otherwise,
Craig will
you
come
may
for
show
you.
up on my Twitter feed. And then a couple more stories coming later in the week. One Coyotes, one ASU related, but good week of content coming up.
Lots of good stuff. So if you want to read that Die Hard content, become a Die Hard today. Our Black Friday sale is going on all through the weekend. It's Cyber Weekend, up to 90% off. There's literally a shirt in the locker for 99 cents. I have to just keep reiterating how amazing that is. And if you're a Die Hard, you get an extra 20% off merch. That's on top of the sale prices. So seriously, check out the locker if you need. I've done like 5 orders already because I keep ordering for family, and then not that I keep forgetting about family, but I keep remembering.
Did you do the Die Hard one?
Oh, the shirt. Okay,
or the-
so
Literally
Or
doing it right
Did you
now.
remember your login and password, Leah? so
no.
that you
So
can get into-
make sure you're logged.
Right
If
there.
you're a
There it
diehard,
is.
make sure you're logged
in.
in.
Getting it right now.
Petey's literally on his laptop ordering the Die Hard only sweatshirt right now. So check that out. And also, when you spend $75, you'll get a $15 gift card. The link is in our description to go right to the PHNX locker. So click on that below. It's first come, first serve. So things are selling out. We have our hoodies finally. The Die Hard only zip up. I know people have been asking for that. We got Phoenix gear. I mean, the locker is unreal. Oh, he just placed his order. I
Did
watched
you
it.
execute?
I literally,
Yeah.
yep.
Done.
He placed
That's how
the order.
easy it is to buy merch.
Love it.
Thanks for the Christmas present, buddy.
All right. Before we wrap up, like I always ask you guys, any final thoughts before we head
We
out?
usually have none.
No,
But
sometimes.
No, but
Petey
I-
does, actually.
we
Petey
will
usually
start-
does.
Let's
I
wrap
usually
up by
stare
talking
blankly at
Coyotes
Yeah,
hockey.
and I have to say, you
Yeah.
can't just say nothing. This is an audio podcast.
And we'll wrap up talking Coyotes hockey that this is exactly what we asked for on this segment. Again, where this team played well all the way to the end of these games, even on the games that they lose, including today, going from 4-1 to 4-3 in the last 3 minutes by individual efforts by Crouse, Schmaltz. There are a lot of good things to build on from this game again. They get to come home, they get to sleep in their own bed, wash their underwear, rejuvenate, and get back on a plane and do it all over again.
Last
But I
game
think
in
it's really
November, by
important.
the way.
They played hard the month of November. It's fantastic. So this was a good
Wow.
game day on,
They had
on
a
a
good
Sunday
November.
matinee.
Okay, 4 games left on this NHL record-tying 14-game road trip. LA Kings, Vancouver Canucks, Calgary Flames, Edmonton Oilers. What's the Coyotes' record in these 4 games?
1-3.
1-2-1.
That's what I'm going with, too. 1-2-1.
Oh, I didn't even consider overtime,
They're
but
gonna
I'll
push
stick
the
with.
Just shy of a 500 record, but
I'll
still.
stick with my 1-3.
I mean, if you're a contending team, you're looking to play 500 on the road, on a road trip like this.
I don't think it's going to be in LA. I think Vancouver's a win, and I think they get either Calgary or Edmonton to overtime.
Okay.
All right, I like it. We'll see. It'll be nice for them to have a couple days at home here. Like I said, before hitting the road, we'll be back. Guess what, everybody? The Thursday game starts at 8:30 p.m.
Coyotes after dark.
PHNX Coyotes After Dark. But we will be here. We'll be here on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel live to talk about it, to break it all down. So we hope you join us, and we hope that you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a show. But in the meantime, we'll have a couple audio episodes for you this week, including one to talk all about what goes down Tuesday night at Tempe City Council. So be sure to be subscribed wherever you get your podcasts. And while you're at it, like and leave us a 5-star review and a written review on Apple if you're able to. It really helps us out immensely, and I love reading all of the reviews that are left there for us. And please follow us each on Twitter at Sean_DePaz, at Craig S. Morgan if you want to see him mock people on Tuesday night, at Leah Merrill, and at S. Peters Hockey, and of course at PHNX_ Coyotes on Twitter. There's also video on there from last night with Logan Cooley and Matty Knies. And if you want to see any of the ASU post game, check out Sean's Twitter as well. Tons of video on there. Well, we'll be back Thursday night, late night. But like I said, giving you content all week long. In the meantime, thank you all so much for tuning in for this Sunday afternoon, taking time, not watching football, not watching the Cardinals, but watching us. So we really appreciate it. But enjoy the rest of your Sunday, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon.